Hello everybody, I am the fucking bear, and we are going to continue the video game.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend.
Should have done when she had the book open.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Aw. You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hold still.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else?
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
I'm controlling Mr. Man.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Why?
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Well. Ba-dee-da.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it. After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Okay. This,
That time's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
what's happening?
Whatever it was, he saw.
Let's get the whale to come in.
It sure made him happy.
Okay. I was joking.
I know how silly it sounds. But I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. Hey, there's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything.
Have I mentioned that this is
No
the
one
greatest
happened
game
to
ever
us
made?
before. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
I'm gonna go away now.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet
Who was Dawn? Why is there no... Huh.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
That's okay. So what am I doing over here?
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, as the sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
So what horrible way am I going to die at the end of this one?
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
This is like Flower meets Poltergeist.
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Well. Okay. Let's go for a
My mom
climb.
moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last.
Well, she wrote books. Teaching books.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
This is actually very reminiscent of the ending to Unfinished Swan. This is Unfinished Swan. Oh my god. The games are connected? I was not expecting that.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Are you gonna let me play Unfinished Swan? Because I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I'm going to be able to handle it.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
I want to even think that this is some music from Unfinished Swan.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
You know, part of me thinks, you know, it would have been kind of cool if they did like a little level from it. But like I said, I don't think I would have been able to emotionally handle that. I've been kind of struggling this entire fucking time, so I don't need that to tip the balance for me.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
Lewis's room
Well.
smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Now this, I did not want to do that. This looks like a very comfortable place to live. Tell me this is not looking comfy as shit. That's a nice keyboard you got there, buddy. It's a mechanical keyboard.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Wonderland Turbo. Turbo.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing.
wander.
Oh. Oh,
I asked
shit.
him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
I don't know if I
Then something
still need to be doing that.
Bats and toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then, daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss, but he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis.
He's gonna chop his hand off. That's clear as
So I let
day.
him go on.
He's gonna get distractimated and he's gonna chop his hand off. There's no questioning it. We know that's what's gonna happen.
I even encouraged him.
My game's getting bigger.
It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
I can't go to the campsite. Oh well.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. and he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery, but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality.
I don't know if it's
Minneapolis. Until
necessary
one day
for me
he
to
forgot go home from the cannery.
keep doing that.
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a
Eh? Yeah, we're gonna go for
handsome
Queen.
queen. The queen was on her own quest for
Rainbows.
radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her
Let's go with the sitar.
electric sitar.
I think it's kind of interesting how doing this has become second nature.
His chase led him to a golden palace east.
Kind
of
of
the
puts you
sun
in the
and
mindset of how it was for him.
Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
I don't want this game to ever end. Alright?
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
You're not working as fast as I was. I would just like to point it out. You suck compared to me.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Like I'm still on the conveyor belt. I mean, if I was going to be crowned king, I'd like to be on a... Sorry about that. I unplugged my webcam with my toe. You know, another thing about these developers is they're amazing artists. Like, okay. I think that making games like this and like Gone Home and like Dear Esther and like PT, the kind of like that kind of like photorealistic kind of heavily detailed. I'm gonna go as far as to say that that's not that difficult. I think that I'll be like this. I think creating things that look real is not as difficult as creating things that look interesting. And that word comes back again. And so many of the sections in this, from an artistic standpoint, I mean, remember Barbara? That whole fucking thing. There was sections of it where I was actually playing, and I'm in the house, and yet they self-shaded it and actually made it look like a fucking comic book. I think this was just fucking amazing from a artistic standpoint. Hell, I would love to play a full game of just this section. That just from an artistic standpoint, I'm enjoying the look of this. Now let's go meet my beautiful blushing bride.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
You got very large, lovely,
And the rest I think you know.
I was gonna say eyes.
Son was a kind man who will be missed by.
Then I realized you didn't have any, and I was kind of trapped in my statement. I like her titties. I can't. She don't have eyes, so I have no escape.
Really cool.
I have no
I wish
escape.
you could have met him.
Anyway, I'm going to end the episode here. I don't know. This is a new recording. I had to start after unplugging the thing, so I don't know how long that was. I apologize if this is like a 5-minute episode. Thank y'all for watching. Bye-bye.